My name's Rachel Fairley and I'm your host for today. Let's just go around the table and everyone can introduce themselves. Shallu, would you like to start?
Absolutely. Shallu Behar-Sheehan, and I've been in marketing, technology marketing for over 25 years, and I'm currently with a video conferencing company.
Morning, hi, I'm Richard Ashley. I look after EMEA marketing for TraceLink, who are a SaaS company focused on the pharmaceutical sector.
Morning, James Keating, and I'm head of global marketing at Dropbox.
I'm Ross Chapman. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for an up-and-coming SaaS software provider.
Morning, I'm John Webb. I run a company called Get2Growth, which focuses on training and support around agile marketing, but previously ran marketing for likes of Samsung, Rackspace.
Brilliant. Should we get stuck in? Okay, so the first thing I would absolutely love to talk about is, given the current business climate and the proliferation of options in just about every industry that there is, and the need for clarity of offer, and also the customer's desire for frictionless sales, even in a B2B environment, to get as frictionless as possible. Do you think it's time that marketing and sales came back under one roof as a kind of standard approach?
Whew.
Would you like to start?
I'll give it a shot. I think there's so much written about the separation of marketing and sales, and so much implied about the need for stronger marketing and sales alignment. I think we have to do our part as marketing leaders to break that paradigm and realize that we are under one roof, right? We're all serving the companies that employ us, and we're all responsible for driving growth and whatever the goals are of those companies. So I think we just need to start thinking about the problem a little bit differently.
Okay. Have you worked in a company that has sales and marketing under one roof? Or has it normally been separate?
It has normally been separate, and I think there's, I suppose what I'm trying to describe is I think there's an assumption that sales and marketing are different teams. Sales teams have their goals, and marketing teams have their goals, and both those goals should ultimately at the top be the same. So do they need to come together? I don't think so, though. I think there's a certain set of skills and certain set of responsibilities that we want our sales team to deliver. And I think there's a certain set of skills that we want our marketing team to deploy. So I think it's a case of both sides of the equation, both marketing giving sales a bit more credit and sales giving marketing a bit more credit.
That'll be the day. Shallu, what do you think?
I think with the evolution of roles like the Chief Revenue Officer and the Chief Customer Officer, there is, especially in the FMCG world, there is a need to bring the sales and marketing teams together so that it becomes a lot more based around the company values and what they're trying to drive with customers. But then if you look at B2B and the emerging role of the CMOs, now they're driving the growth revenue strategy. So I know that's something that I definitely have to do as a CMO. Think about, how am I, sort of like driving the revenue for the business? And again, when you look at inside sales function, again, I'm fortunate to have the inside sales function sit under my remit. So I think there is a natural evolution, but I do think, though, in some companies, there is still that, what sales deliver and, the remit that marketeers follow. And the question really is, do you split marketing? That's the true, the interesting thing.
How would you split it?
I would look at upstream and downstream, whereby upstream you have marketeers, focused on customer sensing, the voice of the customer, and providing insights and input into product development. And then downstream you have the campaigns and the lead generation, and that team aligned to sales.
Okay, interesting. James, what do you think?
I don't necessarily disagree with anything that's been said so far. I like to think of it more of a sense of partnership. So I don't necessarily agree. I've worked in companies where sales and marketing were in one team.
Yeah.
There are advantages. It wasn't a disaster. You tend to find yourself, sales tend to take the lead, right? And marketeers then become a little bit more subservient. So my preference is, and I do think they're different disciplines, they're different career tracks, and I think they should be separate. However, we do kind of unite under a common goal, which is growth. We do have one plan, which is around driving growth. We try and think of it as one funnel. I guess it's similar to your upstream sort of downstream, but we don't separate out our marketing funnel or a sales funnel. It's one funnel. We play different roles within that funnel. So,
yeah, that makes sense. What do you think?
I think it's a mistake to just think about the sales marketing axis. I think it's a much broader issue. And the reason I say that is that the relationship with the customer today is pervasive. It's across all aspects and all parts of the business. And I think, therefore, that it's about a community, it's about a village within the business, and marketing and sales are part of that. But I think we've got to look in broader terms. And I think as we're facing the change that we're seeing in markets, with customers, with customer demands, the pace is unrelenting. And any divide between not just sales and marketing, but marketing and product, marketing and IT, marketing and finance, marketing and customer support and customer success is friction in the system. So I think organizations need to relook and rethink, not just about the relationship between sales and marketing, but how they're coalescing around the customer. And it's interesting, Marketing Week and MIQ, a research agency, did some research last year, and they found that 57% of marketing departments are still structured around either function or product.
Yeah.
Only 6% are actually structured around customers. And yet you ask those marketers how they think they should be structured, it's the exact opposite. So companies and marketing teams realize they're doing it wrong, but they've got their heads in the sand because there's the inertia there and the fear of change. And I think we've got to break that cycle. Otherwise, frankly, we're going to be dead because the customer's moving too quickly for us.
It's a shift in operating model.
Yeah,
isn't
absolutely.
It?
Fundamental
more
shift.
agile, customer-oriented.
Correct. And we're being left behind because other parts of the business are now thinking, working, and moving in completely different ways. Not just the product development and operations side of the business, but increasingly functions like finance, functions like HR, functions like audit, are now working in these, like you use the word agile, in these new ways. Marketing and sales and the commercial side of the business is currently being left behind. And if we don't change, and I'm not saying just adopt rigidly the ways that those other departments and functions are working, but we've got to start thinking like that. We've got to start thinking differently as a function, as a commercial side of the business.
One of the things that I've noticed is currently working for a smaller company is there is a lot closer alignment from a CMO and from a CRO perspective, the Chief Revenue Officer. There's greater alignment maybe than in larger companies that I've worked for, so big multinationals. Not deliberately that sales and marketing were sort of not aligned, but it just sometimes happens, and cliche, that whole silo approach does take place in larger companies if it can. Whereas working for a smaller company, there's a lot closer alignment, and that's a lot to do with the CEO that we work for. He's got a closer handle on the ultimate objectives and ensuring that everybody in the company is aligned to those objectives. So we do work for the same organization, obviously, and we are aligned shoulder to shoulder, more so than maybe some other companies I've worked at in the past.